Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 344. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin, and I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Oh, that was a hold on that one. How you doing, man?
No good. I had to sneeze, that's why.
Dude.
I felt like I could hold it off by running that note out a little longer.
Yeah, I feel that. Sneezing is it just comes with opening day in this time of year. So it's normal. It's a normal thing. You ever have someone quickly say bless you when you're like,
and then they ruin it?
Mid sneeze and then it goes away? I've never wanted to go on a rampage before, but that could start it for me.
I'm not saying I would go on a rampage, but if there's a chainsaw just lying around,
watch your legs. Watch your legs.
Watch your extremities.
Yeah.
It's never a good place to be. Opening weekend in the books. Tell me how you feel about it. I mean, we'll get into it, obviously. But was it just me, or did you feel like this opening weekend, in comparison to previous opening weekends, had a little more, I don't know,
je ne sais
hype,
quoi,
buzz, whatever that is?
I don't know either. I just
excitement. Are we sure that's not like a French sexual term or something? What does that even mean?
It's definitely French. I think it just means like flair, doesn't it?
Hopefully we didn't make that weird.
We might have made it weird.
An indefinable, elusive quality, especially a pleasing one. Okay, we're good.
There you go. Perfect.
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
Did this opening weekend have a little more je ne sais quoi to it than previous?
A little bit of it.
A little bit of Italian, a little bit of French here?
Yeah, dude. It's probably because of the WBC. Everyone's talking noise on it, saying to cancel it, but it's like, no, this got everybody talking about baseball. Whether you agreed or disagreed about the things, everyone is in tune with baseball. And kind of the same logic with the rule changes, right? Whether you agree or disagree, they're here, and everyone's, really anxious to see how things play out. So yeah, this was a big opening day weekend.
Let's talk more. Let's spend the next 30 to 45 minutes talking about the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
And why we think it should be every year.
And click. Everyone just ended it. Everyone just switched. Yeah.
Before we get into the specifics of this weekend, did you have any, like, what are some of your knee-jerk reactions? Like, what are some of your takeaways from this weekend that are absolutely not going to pan out over the course of 162, but it was enough of a storyline to where you're like, this is irrational, but I'm going to run with this for a little bit.
Ooh. The Rangers, probably. Honestly, the Rangers offense, putting up just boomstick numbers. Yeah, I can't imagine that's gonna go year long. I mean, they do have a better lineup for sure, but man, I mean, they put it on the Phillies.
So the Rangers offense as a whole is
I think so. I think it's my
overreaction.
It's like my biggest one. Like, I think, yeah, Rangers fans are like already buying World Series tickets right now.
Tickets?
Early. It's real early to pull that trigger. I'm down if you want to get.
It's been a minute. I mean, you got to give me credit. I've held off.
Feel free. It's time now.
I didn't even drop it in our hot takes and predictions episode.
No time.
There was, that's true. There was no time. Which, don't let me forget, hot takes and predictions episode. Got to make a note about that. But before then, SeatGeek, it's the answer to all your ticket needs. Are you looking for tickets? Do you have plans with friends or family to make it to an upcoming game or concert, or are you even looking months ahead to nail down a date to get tickets before they sell out? With SeatGeek, you can find tickets to games, concert shows, and even theater performances with just a few easy clicks, or make it even better for you if you're a first-time user of SeatGeek. Next time you add some tickets to your cart, use our promo code 30TAKE. That's our social handle at checkout to save $20 instantly off your first purchase as a first-time user. It's all you got to do to save some of that.
Cold hard cash.
Enter promo code 30TAKE. That's our social handle at checkout.
You weren't ready for that quick turnaround, huh?
Yes.
Quick reverse
no,
card.
I was not. No, that was nice for once. I realized when I was editing our hot takes and predictions episode that, in case you missed it, it's not too late to check it out. We dropped it last Monday. I mentioned at the beginning, I said, don't let me forget, and you let me forget that I wanted to pick a favorite one or two takes that we really wanted to get behind.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if the other ones fall by the wayside, it's fine, but like these are going to be the ones these are going to be the hills that we die on.
Yeah.
And these are the ones that we're going to ride out. Even if they're L's that we have to take come end of season, these are the ones we have to stand by. And I was curious if you had any time to think about that.
Especially after this weekend, I'm absolutely keeping my at least 3 guys having a 30-30 year.
Dude,
it feels like a lukewarm take now. It doesn't even feel that hot.
We need to talk about some of these rule changes after seeing them.
Because that's weekend. Like, whoa. That's gonna get blown out, dude. Maybe not that much. I mean, there's only so many 30 home run guys that can swipe bags.
Rookie of the Year is such a hard pick to stand behind because I feel like 9 times out of 10, it's always somebody that just comes up out of nowhere and
that's fair. But I mean, you're saying that's harder than MVP? It's
a harder pick for me to get behind, like to really plant my feet behind and say I'm going to.
I'll take that one then. That's fine. I had Anthony Volpe winning AL Rookie of the Year, so hot weekend, hot start. Yeah, I'll die on those 2 hills.
I think, and we'll get into this too. I'm excited to talk about it. I think the hill I'm gonna die on this year is the Angels. I really do. I think this is the year we finally see them.
The thing is that on that hill, you're having to fight off a lot of people. You're gonna be.
I've already had to fight people off.
Yeah, you're gonna be in the comment section year round. So
it's a mess up there, but I'm holding fast. I'm holding true.
I believe in you.
It's a new me. Okay, so you're riding with what were your takes again? You said
at least 3 30-30 guys this year. And then Volpe winning AL Rookie of the Year.
That's fair. Those are good ones to stay behind.
Those aren't bad.
Do we want to start with the rule changes because I feel like those were of great discussion.
Yeah, of course. It's just being jammed down our throats in every way possible. So, sure.
Well, let me ask you, in the games that you watched this weekend, was there a bunch of, and for the first time in team history, the pitch clock violation, the base, was there a bunch of that?
No, not necessarily. I mean, when I'm looking through highlights, yes, obviously that's like the main things you pick out. I gotta give. I don't know if other teams have followed this. I wasn't specifically choosing certain broadcasts outside of the Yankees, but like the Yankees don't even show the pitch clock. You don't even see it. It's nowhere on the score bug. It's not in view of the center field camera. Like it's just not there. I kind of like it that way. That's fine. I think maybe it popped up when there's like 5 seconds or less or 7 seconds or less or whatever. Yeah, but outside of that, like there wasn't too much in the commentating that bugged me about it. I think I'm really not a fan of the 7-second rule. With the batter have to have like eyes on the pitcher at 7 seconds. I can't remember,
is it 7 or 8?
I don't know. Either way, I don't like it. The way I see it is that it's like if he's in the box, I don't know. I don't feel like there needs to be like a hard stop. You know what I mean? Like if he's in the box and eyes up, like does a pitcher need 7 seconds? You know what I mean? That's a long time to...
That goes back to what I was saying. It's like, if you're going to move forward with these rules, fine. But like, as you transition these guys into a completely different game, because we've talked about it at length, you are fundamentally changing the way the game is played. So if you're going to do that to these guys, especially guys who've been in the league 10, 12, 15 years, allow there to be like a little bit of grace period, like somewhat of a grace period within that window of time.
Yeah.
For me, the games I was watching this weekend, it's just awkward watching these hitters like glued to the pitcher. And I know that's what these people who aren't true fans of baseball are very much on the casual side of things. They're going, that's the rule. Like that's what the hitter should be doing. No, like it just, it looks awkward. I understand they're trying to abide by the rule, but I saw a number of people, and transparency, I saw a lot of people talking about, this is my first true experience with the pitch clock, watching it play out, and like I'm a fan. But on the flip side, there was also, as with any issue, it seems like nowadays, the flip side, there was just as many, if not more, people being like, this isn't it. Like, this just isn't the move.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, you talk about, you kind of zoom out a little bit and look at the effect that the pitch clock has on the game so far. I will say,
that's what I was going to ask you. Is there any of these rule changes that you feel like, okay, I'm accepting this quicker than I thought I would?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is the pitch clock, just in terms of, I feel like I need to choose my words wisely here. The pitch clock in terms of the TV viewing experience, I feel like was improved. Hard to tell though, because I'm sitting down to watch the first 3 games of the season, so I'm gonna be feeling good regardless.
Sure, that's the thing, yeah.
So I don't know how much that plays into it. But talking about the things that I was reading online on social media, I saw a bunch of people that said, "Hey, I was at X game this weekend, and it just felt incredibly rushed." I can't speak for the TV viewing experience because I was at the ballpark all weekend, but from my point of view, and it was like I'm not just picking 1 or 2 instances. Like I saw a bunch of this, and people were saying it feels rushed. It feels like they're rushing the pitchers too much. So, from my point of view, I'll be curious to see how I feel about it once I finally get to the park.
Yeah,
but from the TV viewing experience, it seemed a little bit better. But I can still look at the game for what it is and recognize that whether I'm at the ballpark or on my couch, it still seems a little too rushed. And I'm genuinely surprised. I don't know if we even brought this up last episode. I'm genuinely surprised there were, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but there were no tweaks made, correct?
Nothing yet.
Which
I don't think so.
I also feel like is odd, but
I think give it 2 or 3 weeks and we may see some slight adjustments. I just feel like that's such a strange position that you're putting guys in, because you're, like I said, we're already changing the game, and you had multiple weeks of this play to watch play out over spring training, and then we're gonna make changes. I think when I say slight, I mean like real slight. Like instead of 7 seconds, for example, it's 5 seconds that the hitter has his eyes up, right? So I think it's something that small. I don't think it's as big as something of like changing the number of pickoff moves, which to me was way, way bigger of a deal than I initially thought. Like the limited pickoffs.
More
really,
for the pitch clock for you? Like more so than the pitch clock? Yeah,
yes.
the same. I watched that and I'm like, this is not going to fly. Like
this is not going to work, dude. Like this, because in reality, technically, most pitchers probably feel like they only have one. Because if you do both, then you're ultimately very predictable. Like that runner is going to get a huge jump. I don't love that. Also noticed a very big trend with pretty much any hitter that went down 0-2 was calling timeout. They were using their one timeout as a hitter. It seemed like every 0-2 count was like, all right, give me a second to breathe and kind of regather myself. That one's a factor, but I mean, look, I don't know if it's like the typical pitchers not being fully ready at this point in the season, but was it just me or the offense like through the roof across the league everywhere? Runs are being scored.
It's
everywhere.
usually not that way. It's usually the pitchers
opposite.
have the upper hand. Yeah,
exactly. Like pitchers are in their groove typically, and hitters are still getting their timing. So I think there's a factor of the pitch clock not necessarily affecting velocity. I think it is affecting location. And there is this back of the head thought process of this pitcher where there maybe is a loss of focus on pinpoint accuracy, needing that accuracy, because it is that rushed feeling. So, yeah, man, I think there's just a few adjustments that need to be made. But overall, I really, really don't like the limited pickoffs.
The 2 disengagements.
I don't like that.
Yeah, that was, I said like right away, because I'm watching, of all series to watch this weekend, I'm watching the series where history quite literally is being made. I tweeted it out after the game on Saturday. The Orioles became the first team in Major League history, not American League history, Major League history, to steal 10 games through their first 2 games of the season.
10 bags?
10 bags.
Yeah.
In 2 games. And it got to the point, shout out my little Red Sox group chat that I got on Instagram. I was messaging those guys and I was like, do we plan on throwing the ball to second at any point this season?
Yeah, the number of catchers not even able to make a throw was crazy.
It's just, and you see the jumps these guys are getting.
Yeah.
And I know, and I apologize because I feel like I keep repeating myself and people probably just get tired of hearing about it. But I've said before, I'll say it again. The response to all of this for the people that are pro all of these changes is going to be, well, that's just the game now. Like, that's just the rules. And they're just following the rules. Just because the rule is put into place doesn't mean it's not stupid. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know how you can watch the game that we're seeing now with these 2 disengagements for pitchers and watch the jumps that these base runners are getting off first base and the level of ease they're stealing second base with and go, wow, now this is a really competitive product. It's not.
Yeah, it's
and
very lopsided.
I'm not gonna get all worked up about it because to me it's not worth getting worked up about because it's that obvious. Like what we saw with the 2 disengagement things and the planning and the counteraction that goes into those next pitches that follow the 2 disengagements, it's far too predictable. Yep. It's gonna skew numbers. It's gonna inflate numbers like off the charts. It already has. That's probably the biggest thing for me of all of the changes that we've seen.
See, what if it was like almost like a limited pickoffs per inning? Like you only have so many in that top half. They don't carry over, but you only have so many. You know what I mean? Like something to be able to, like a mound visit thing where you have the total and you're working your way down. Like the consequence of you doing it too much is that you're out of them, versus every single guy that gets to first, you have this amount. And what I see is like the long-term effects. The long-term effects, we already talked about how I think the automated strike zone is just around the corner. The long-term effects of, I just want a catcher that can hose dudes. That's it. That's all it's going to be. I just want a catcher that can hose. Because framing won't matter. Blocking already doesn't matter. No one cares about blocking anymore. I think it was the Rockies-Padres game. I don't know. No, maybe it was the Yankees game, the Giants game, because they had yesterday's game with Salas behind the plate for the Giants, and there was one inning where there was like 3 pass balls / wild pitches. Either way, like the emphasis of the art of catching is slowly dwindling. And especially if there's no need for framing and it's just going to be automated strike zone, all the focus is going to be on trying to get this guy out that's stealing bases so easily. So this will change a lot of things if base running isn't changed. It's too lopsided.
Yeah, and I was joking, but like there's a couple guys for the O's this weekend where I'm like, these guys might go 40-40 this series because they got on they got on base and we're just taking second base.
Yeah.
And then not to mention, like, both teams are just slugging the crap out of the ball all weekend. So I'm like, numbers are just being inflated through the roof as a result of these things. But I mean,
that's where we are. I know we're negative for a while, so let's get positive. Couple things that I saw positive that I enjoyed.
Hey, to be fair, I gave the pitch clock a little bit of credit,
You did.
at least from a TV point of view.
I can agree. It is quick. I don't think it bugs you when you're at home, but I definitely seeing it being interesting at the stadium.
What's interesting, though, and I don't know if you felt this way too, but you can tell after years of watching a game without the pitch clock how conditioned you are. Because, like I said, I don't know about you.
To do stuff in between pitches?
Yeah, because I'll be checking my phone, and then I'll look up. The next pitch has already been thrown, and he's gearing up for the pitch after that. And I'm like, that.
Whoops.
And I get it. That's why we're trying to do all of this. But I'm just an objective observation there from this weekend where I was like, wow, like this, even for the fan viewing at home, you kind of got to be a little more locked in.
I definitely agreed there.
And last thing I'll say on the pitch clock before we get positive, and this isn't even really me being negative, this is just a reality, this is just a fact of the situation, is I hope if you haven't gone to games yet that you're prepared to spend more money for less of a product. Because I know we've kind of alluded to this a little bit, but these games, I think batting stance guy, the guy we interviewed a while back, he went to the Padres game this weekend. I saw he put a tweet out that said, game lasted 2 hours and 4 minutes. And so I'm thinking, you're already spending out the wazoo to bring a family of 4 to the game. And now you're going to be there for an hour less. And on top of paying out of the wazoo, you're going to be paying more as these owners quickly start to realize that the profits are going through the floor because people that like they're just not there at the ballpark. For
you also don't have time to go to concessions,
and you don't have time to go to concessions because and that was another piece of feedback I saw from fans that went to the games, and they said I just wasn't comfortable leaving to go get concessions because I didn't want to miss.
Instead of missing 2 outs, you're missing an inning and a half.
Instead of 2 outs, you're missing 2 innings. Like that's just the reality of it. So, and again, that's not me being negative here. I'm just simply I'm passing along what I've seen, and it like I said, my take on this may adjust once I actually go to a game. It may get worse. I don't know.
Yeah.
Once I get to experience it, but that's just what I've read.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Makes a whole lot of sense. Makes a whole lot of sense because like when you purchase something that has a time or overall event attached to it, it's like how do you justify going to the movies with your partner? It's like, well, Yeah, it's $30 if we get tickets and a soda, but it's 3 hours of entertainment. So it's like, that's not that bad. When you go golfing and you drop $60, you're like, all right, well, that's 4 hours. So like, I feel like I got my money's worth. This is something that's like, I don't know if you feel that way, but I do. I think the best point of that was, and I know they keep saying their goal isn't to shorten games, but this is it's obviously a result that they knew was going to come. But the argument that I could understand was that, the weeknight games. How do we get parents and kids to be able to go to weeknight games? If you're on the East Coast and you have a 7:10 first pitch, can you be home by 10? It's like, okay, you know what I mean? I can understand what you're trying to do there. But positive stuff. Did you notice the amount of studly defensive plays that we saw? The amount of athleticism we saw defensively this weekend?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I know you weren't necessarily a fan of the shift, but you weren't as heavy on banning it as I was.
No, and the whole, if you're new to this podcast, first of all, welcome. Second of all, if you're still unsure of kind of where I stand with all of these rule changes and just the game as a whole, it's about legislating a game that, to me, prior to all of these changes being made, was one of the least legislated games. And what I mean by that is that, and we've had this conversation not too long. We had this conversation not too long ago where I said, in theory, prior to these changes, baseball could literally go on forever. And I guess technically it still can. But by putting a pitch clock into the game, you're now putting a pretty, I don't want to say you're putting a hard cap on it, but you're putting a pretty reasonable cap on how long a game can realistically go now. And you take the pitch clock, you take these disengagement rules. There's just too much to think about now. I won't say too much. There's a lot to think about.
A lot to think about.
There's a
lot
lot
more complicated to explain.
It's become more complicated to explain. There's just way more, far more facets of the game now where Major League Baseball has their hand on it, as opposed to just letting the game play out the way it was designed to play out. So getting back to your original point of the shift, yes, or no, I wasn't like a shift advocate. I'm not like they should shift more. I was just saying, my whole thing with the shift was let guys play. I mean, within reason. Like, I don't want a left fielder playing 6 feet behind the first baseman, but yeah. I mean, to my credit, when did that ever realistically happen? But let these guys play wherever they want, and then force the hitter to make an adjustment. And I saw Adley Rutschman and these people saying you're going to even like the only people that can realistically make adjustments are these hitters that have been in the league for 10, 15 years. Adley Rutschman literally half swung at a ball and rolled it down the third base line and legged out a double. How long has Adley Rutschman been in the league? So don't tell me that these hitters can't make adjustments. So again, far too long of a story to your original question, but the whole shift thing, it was cool to see it play out the way it did this weekend with some of the plays. But I was going to ask you, I saw a number of instances where it looks like the shift ban was being kind of pushed to the limit there, because I saw guys lined up like directly behind second base. Mm-hmm. Like, is that where the cutoff is?
Yeah, I think it's right up the line.
Because like it right looked awfully close to the point where I'm like, does anybody got an eye on this? Because it looks like we're pushing the envelope here.
Yeah. I see, and that's fine. Like that's fine. If you can at least give like guidelines of what you need to stay around, like that's cool to me. And if it means, where the shortstop typically plays 4 feet right of the bag, if we're looking from a catcher's point of view, but he now has to be, directly behind, like whatever, that's fine. I just, the argument I was trying to make when I suggested to get rid of the ban last year, and obviously I have a foot in the door with the commissioner and, all those people definitely refer to me. My argument was the fact that like you've now, athleticism is no longer incentivized at specific positions. And like, what are you watching a game for? Like, I don't want to see routine plays only. I want to see difficult plays. I want to see athleticism shown by a Gold Glove shortstop. You know what I mean? That's what we're here to see. We want to see that. That's the stuff we remember. That's the stuff that lives on forever. So that's what I was arguing. And it's the same ideology with the automated strike zone, right? If that comes into play, catcher framing is just eliminated. It's gone. It's not needed anymore. So if the shift is there and a shortstop can be placed in the perfect spot every single time, why have a super athletic shortstop? Save money. Get a fatter, slower shortstop and you'll be just fine because your numbers tell you where to put them.
But I guess my response to that would be is that even if you shift, you're not eliminating those plays. Sure, the frequency is going to be less, but like those shift alignments are great, but they're not 100%. So you can still have guys in the infield making plays that are playing well beyond the cutout, that have to lay out for a ball, get up, make a somewhat of a long throw to get the guy at first. That can still happen. To me, the impact is like here. But the impact of just telling guys that they can't move wherever they want at all, like altogether, whether a positive impact or not, the impact to me is far greater.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
the one thing I would change, I don't really understand the point of the 2 feet in the infield thing. I that's fine. Get rid of that. You know what I mean? Like if you really want that second base out in short right field, fine. But
yeah,
the shortstop can't fill that hole of that he's created because like just have that line up the middle. 2 guys on this side, 2 guys on this side. And that's fine.
That's something I could get behind.
Yeah, like, that's compromise. But
that's within reason.
I just want to see solid plays, and I want to see those base runners taking an extra base. You know what I mean? And that's not happening if you constantly have these shifts because you're having, little squibbers down the third base line. You're having, you're not having those seeing eye singles that just sneak through. They're non-existent anymore. And so the fact that the banning of the shift has brought those things back, it is exciting. We are seeing more plays at the plate. We are seeing first to third. We are seeing scoring from second more often. So overall, I think they've accomplished their goal of creating more action. And I can appreciate that. I just think that there needs to be some minor tweaks. And I've said it before. I'll say it again. My last thing on the pitch clock, make it go away after 7 innings. Give me the drama that I'm looking for in the 8th and 9th. It has to be there. Don't rob the drama. Just eliminate it after 7 innings. And we're good.
Yeah, I don't remember what you'll have to forgive me. I don't remember what the situation was, but it was, I want to say it was like the 8th inning, and Raffy was up, and I think there was a runner on, and I'm pretty sure it was a 1-run game.
It was.
And gets hit with the automatic strike, and it was strike 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see Rafi walking back to the dugout. And the only thing in my head that I could hear is, dude, them's the rules. Them's the rules. I'm like,
Yeah.
That's great. That's fine. These are your rules now. But like, was that
Is that what you wanted to see? Yeah.
Was that fulfilling for you?
Right.
Yeah,
Because like I'm buying MLB TV. I'm buying these tickets to see a Rafael Devers be Rafael Devers. If you're robbing him of that moment, if you're robbing him the chance to succeed, that's what bugs me. And that's a big moment. And they lost by 1. Am I right? That was the game where they lost by 1. So yeah, that is a big moment.
The only
it
thing
is
I
a big
can do
deal.
is I can just laugh. Like I don't even get. I'm not going to get worked up about it anymore. Like it is what it is.
There's nothing we could do about it now. We just got to find a way to, I guess, get on board with it if we really want to stay fans. Maybe some of you don't. Maybe this is your time to leave baseball, but you got to think that there are some at least decent adjustments coming.
Some positive headlines. You already mentioned Anthony Volpe. That was cool to watch. I definitely made sure to tune in for that. I mean, it helped that it was the first game of the season, if I recall. That was like a 1:00 game.
Yeah, it was another game that they both had the same first pitch, but yeah.
Yeah. So I was able to tune in for that. Got to see the roll call. Got to see the first few ABs.
Yeah.
What were some of your takeaways from Volpe making his debut?
I think a huge point was brought up. I don't remember who was on the call with Michael Kay, but they asked Michael Kay if there was this kind of buzz behind Jeter. The answer was no. Same situation. Grew up a Yankee fan, from Jersey, all that kind of stuff, right? Did all the right stuff. And that was more of a documented thing after Jeter became Jeter. This is, this kid has always wanted to be a Yankee. Now he's just becoming a Yankee, and we're getting to see it from the beginning. Which is, I think it's really cool. And that, man, I always have this soft spot of like kids relating to baseball and like kids seeing, because I was that guy. You were that guy. We watched these guys and we're like, I want to be him. I want to live that dream. And so I have a soft spot because Volpe is living my dream as a kid. I wanted to be Derek Jeter. I wanted to be shortstop of the Yankees. And he's getting to do it. He's doing it in the right way. It was cool to see it's his thing to kiss the Yankee emblem on his jersey during roll call. It happened all 3 games. So like that is his thing. I think the pressure of being in New York is something that's still, kind of up in the air. We'll still wait and see. But it seems like he's the kind of kid that just will outwork the pressure. You know what I mean? Like he'll never be ill-prepared. And there are certain athletes out there that may not have the off-the-charts athleticism, but they will always be prepared. And he seems like he's one of those guys that I will impact this game in one way or another. If I go over, I will impact this game. And he absolutely created issues on the base paths already. He's already got 3 swipes in 3 games. And it's like this weird short lead, hop, shuffle, gone. It's crazy to watch him at first base. It's nuts. Yeah, dude. Exciting. Really, really exciting. I can't even lie. As a Yankees fan, I'm stoked.
Speaking of Yankee legends, we're talking like all-time GOATs here for the Bronx
I'm sensing
Bombers.
sarcasm. Joey Gallo.
Joey Gallo, dude. Can we just take a quick look at what is building up to be the Joey Gallo revenge tour?
I'm here for it. I really am.
I mean, not 1, but 2 bombs, 4 ribbies. I think he had a double in there too, 3 runs scored.
Yeah.
And that's just 1 game. And that took him what, like
Took
a
him
quarter of a season to get last year.
It took 6 months to get there. Yeah, dude, super, super cool to see. Super cool to see. I actually have like a list of like the new guys, like new faces in new places or whatever. And he's on the list. And yeah, man, it's funny to me to see him in the box and see that there has been what seems to be no adjustments outside of maybe opening up his front side in the beginning of his
It doesn't
stance.
have to be a mechanical adjustment,
Yeah,
dude. There's something to be said about that mental.
And that's my point. I think it's just the mental side of it. Like he looked the same in Texas. He looked the same as a Yankee. He still looks the same as Minnesota, but it's like that comforting mental space that he's in. Good for him, dude. Good for him. That he got it rough in New York. He had it really rough. And there were some pretty harsh words said about him. So it's cool to see. And I think like baseball's better when he's mashing, because that dude can put it on the roof.
Love it. Love to see that. And I saw this morning he got picked up in our fantasy league.
Yeah, not surprised. Not surprised. I got other names on here. You want to run through them a little bit?
Yeah, what do we got?
Nice little weekend. Jesse Winker with Milwaukee now had four ribeyes. We all know Milwaukee's just desperate for offense, so maybe he makes a pretty big impact over there. Dansby with Chicago's already 7 for 12.
Actually, hold on. Can we pump the brakes here?
What do you got?
And go back to this Milwaukee thing. I don't know if you saw this tweet, and I'm guessing you didn't because you didn't reach out to me about it. God, this is what happens when I don't put my contacts in. I can't read anything.
I avoid Twitter.
So this was in response to our Hot Takes episode where we were talking about how the Pirates. No, this was actually my point. I won't throw you under the bus. How I said you could make the argument. And I failed to mention the word relative, but when I said the Pirate, you could make the argument that the Pirates got better, albeit microscopically compared to the Brewers.
Yeah.
And I thought it made sense.
I'm with you.
And I think you agreed, just in terms of the right direction that they needed to head.
Right.
The Brewers
Roster
just kind of got left out. And so shout out Vinny. No ill will here to Vinny. He reached out and said, hottest take was the Pirates have done more to improve their team than the Brewers. Let's not forget the Brewers traded one prospect to acquire an all-star catcher with 4 years of control. Pirates haven't finished 500 in how long, and can't get 3,000 fans in a top 3 park in MLB.
Yeah, sorry, that's not the argument. You can't say a roster advancement for the Milwaukee Brewers and then just bring up Pirates past and then, that has nothing to do with the roster.
And then he said, to clarify, I love the Brewers and have been disappointed the past 2 off seasons, but let's just not say things that obviously aren't true. And again, no ill will towards Vinny here, but I just wanted to bring this up to kind of put a bow on that conversation. And then I responded back and said, outside of Contreras, what have the Brewers done to improve? Also, it was noted that while Pittsburgh was at least making an effort to improve, it was microscopic, an improvement nonetheless. And I said, if we're talking moves, let's not forget about trading Hader in the middle of a playoff race. And then, again, shout out Vinny. He said, fair points, love the pod.
Yeah.
Thought that one was reaching. So I said, I mean, to each their own, but.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. Just stay on track. Just stay on track with the argument. It's Pirates made these additions. Milwaukee made these additions. Compare addition to addition. Don't compare franchise to franchise or overall success to success. The initial argument was Pirates have done more to help their team than the Brewers have. But either way, maybe Jesse Winker will be that guy. Get him over the edge. But yeah, Dansby all settled in at Cubby home for 7 for 12 over the weekend. That's pretty solid. Yeah. Your boy Yoshida the Red Sox. Made a little comment on him. I think he had a rough opening day, but the rest of it seemed pretty good, right?
He was putting the ball in play, and he was putting the ball in play hard. So that's all I can ask for.
Yeah, 3 ribs, 4 runs. No surprise here. Arias in Miami is 9 for 16 so far.
Picking back up where he left off.
Yeah. That's just how he does it. Kodai Senga, pretty impressive.
The Ghost Fork
debut. A lot of stuff on the glove. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, he's got it on the glove. It's just taken over.
I wonder if it's way, way cooler in, like, if they say it in Japanese. Because Ghost Fork doesn't sound very cool to me. Are you going to find a pronunciation and just
I don't even know
why
am I looking this up, because I can't speak Japanese. So
I believe in you. Maybe hit the Google.
No, like I quite literally can't like interpret it, because doesn't Japanese have the letter, like the symbols?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Can't you hit like the boop, the little Google machine, and just hit boop?
True.
And
true,
she'll
true.
say it out loud.
All right, I'll come back to me on that.
All right, cool. But yeah, 5 1/3, 3 hits, 8 Ks for Senga. I'm sure he's still just working on getting ramped up, but still a good outing. Noah Syndergaard reportedly took a much smaller deal than what was on the table to go to the Dodgers. Went 6 innings, 1 earned run, 6 Ks. And then my last name on here is pretty obvious, but Xander is 6 for 14 with the Padres so far. 2 boom booms and 5 ribs.
You didn't need to tell me that. I already knew.
Sorry. Maybe the people didn't.
All right, here's Ghost Fork in Japanese.
Hit me one more time on that. I have mixed emotions. I don't know how I feel about it. It sounds like she's just saying Ghost Fork in a Japanese accent.
One more for good measure.
Maybe some extra syllables in there. It's sure. It's cool. Whatever, do your thing, bro. Hey, look, that's my NL Rookie of the Year. So I'm all for it. Let's go
you
Ghost
don't have
Fork.
a choice but to be behind the movement.
Let's go Ghost Fork. But yeah, just some, obviously there's other names out there that, probably missing, but some of the names I noticed that already impacting the new club.
I'll tell you about a name that we haven't talked about yet. Anthony Rendon
wants the smoke.
Wants every last bit of the smoke.
I like it.
And don't even come at me with the whole, classic swing and a minute. Actually, no, we need to put this clown on blast, dude. This guy just thinking he's so much better than the rest of the entire. What?
No, keep going.
So this idiot.
Should I give context real quick? For those who didn't see, following an A's game, if you weren't aware, because the Coliseum is a dump, the away team has to walk out of the dugout to like behind the first 2 rows, but in front of that next section.
It's where Brad Pitt stands in Moneyball when he comes out of the tunnel. It's like that same little route that they have to take.
They don't have the direct access, so they're like very much walking in front of that first few row of fans. And there was a little bit of an altercation. Yeah,
and so this guy, I don't even remember what he said, and I won't repeat it, but basically this guy was like cussing Rendon out, and then Rendon,
I think he called him a female dog. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, called him a female dog. And then Rendon, I guess, I think they lost that game, so probably like not feeling 100%. Comes over and confronted the guy and called him out and was like, "You're gonna call me like that? Is that what you're gonna call me now?" And the guy, of course, as they always do, like, "No, dude, I didn't
super backpedaling,
just totally walking it back." And then Rendon takes a swing at the guy, but the buddy that the guy that said it was with pulled him back, and so Rendon missed him by just a couple inches.
Yeah.
And all these people were saying, "Oh, surprising! Rendon starts the year with a swing and a miss."
Rendon grabbed him by his crummy little Oakland A jersey by the collar, and
That's
had
what
him,
I'm
dude.
saying. And then there's this idiot. What's this guy's name? I can't read it. Damon Amendolara. I don't even care. Quote tweets the video, the clip, and says Anthony Rendon is the toughest guy ever to miss 330 games over the last 3 years. And I was like, I'm not gonna take the bait of these other clowns, but this guy apparently works for CBS, and I'm like, be better. So I said, yeah, let's condone talking to professional athletes however we want if they get injured or suck because they're on the other side of a net. Right on, Damon. Didn't hear back from him because the guy's a freaking idiot. But I'm like, what world do we live in where fans, and it's different. I will clarify. It's different if you're up in the nosebleeds and we're at Yankee Stadium and I'm yelling down, calling Judge a bum. Completely different. But if you're quite literally field
seeking
level
confrontation, if you're that close
field
because
level,
they can hear you.
Yes. And then he calls you out and then you're going to walk it back. No, you're a clown.
Yeah.
You're an absolute clown. So the fact that he swung and missed, like whatever, the fact that he took a swing in the first place, I was impressed with. I was like,
I liked it.
Bro, like this is opening weekend. Like, let's not try to get suspended.
I didn't know
away.
Rendon was built like that.
I don't know either. But
I've
that's
talked
what
a
I
lot
said.
of noise on him in the last few years.
And that's what I said. It got brought up in our fantasy group text. And I said, we got a little fire now under the belly of Anthony Rendon. We already talked about Trout. We already talked about Shohei with the WBC. This, of all the people to be in that situation, I'm kind of glad it was Rendon because that was the guy on the fence where I was like,
I'm not sure about you. I'm not sure if you're still here. Are you still
not sure if you're
in?
still here. You could be an X factor if everything kind of shapes out the way it's supposed to. And the fact that he was a guy in that situation further confirmed that I'm absolutely on board with my Angels pick.
Yeah. There's a couple issues I have with the Angels, but I will agree with you. Rendon, just, I don't know. I feel like the frustration is probably boiling over at this point. Just with, it's the whole narrative of the same old Angels, especially after that game one, showcase of Ohtani and then still losing and first since 1775 or whatever. So, I mean, in the next two games, they put a shellacking on them a little bit. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with the Angels just getting a little fire under them, getting a little mean. Here are my two issues, though. Number one, this is a serious issue.
What do you got?
I don't understand the thought of playing 162 rotating between Gio Urshela and David Fletcher at short. I think the Angels need to seriously consider making a move for a full-time shortstop. The rotation of those two guys, David Fletcher can hold his own. Gio can definitely hold his own, but we're not talking shortstop range or arm.
Did they, and I don't know if this factored into that note that you made, but I saw that Rendon had that collision down the line with the tarp, and that as a precaution they sat him out yesterday for Sunday's game. But then I also read that was a planned off day for him anyway. To which in my head I'm going, why are we having planned off days the third game of the season?
Yeah, I think
and I saw that
there's a lot of managers still trying. They're like in spring training mode with that.
But I'm just, all that to say, I don't know if that played into it at all with Gio playing third and Fletcher playing short, because I saw that was the alignment they went with yesterday.
I don't know, but game one opening day, Gio Urshela was at short.
Oh, okay.
And then game two, same thing. Gio at short, slid over to third when that Rendon thing happened. And then game three, you had David Fletcher at short. So I don't know. I'm not doubting them in any way. It's just they're not everyday shortstops. They've never been everyday shortstops. So I don't think that's a long-term thing. My other issue, and this is less serious, but still needs to be addressed. Am I missing something that the home run celebration wicker bucket hat? It's a Golden State Warriors hat. What is that about?
For the Angels?
Uh-huh.
I saw it. I wasn't a fan of it.
Why is it the Golden State Warriors? You couldn't get an Angels hat?
You're
Wasn't
saying
the
like
celebration
it doesn't
last
have the
year?
logo on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it does.
Ohtani hits his home run after that back-to-back Trout and Ohtani one. He gets into the dugout. The hat is backwards, no logo on the front. On the back, you see a Golden State Warriors, and then underneath the bill has all the coloring on the inside of Golden State Warriors. What are we doing? Is that a thing? Am I missing something? Angels fans, please let me know if that has been a thing and there's like an inside story about it. But they can't get an Angels one?
Yeah, the War. Oh yeah, sure is a Warriors hat. What is
Yeah.
that about?
I know.
That'd
And
be
it's
the
like,
Giants
they're-
anyway.
They're throwing it, right, exactly. And they're throwing it backwards to almost like hide it. Not a fan. That needs to be fixed immediately.
That's got to be some inside thing, dude.
I
has
don't
to
know. It has to be. Maybe Angels fans can let us know. But that needs to change. Otherwise, the Angels will continue to Angel. I'm not a
Yeah,
fan.
I just see so many people asking the same question on Twitter. Like, what is this about?
Yeah.
Why are they doing this?
Mm-hmm. Odd. I need an answer.
Yeah, that we're gonna need answer on that real quick. Looking at just the overall weekend, we had the Braves taking the series from the Nats, Yankees taking the series from the Giants, Sox over the O's, Brewers over the Cubs, Rays sweeping the Tigers, the Rangers sweeping the Phillies, dude. That I'm not going to overreact it over one series, but
Phillies
depending upon-
lineup scares me a little bit by not having enough depth. I mean, nothing against these guys, but if like Josh Harrison and Jake Cave are playing every day,
I mean, Jake K, our guy.
I know he's our guy.
Former interviewee almost had a bop.
I'm here for
who was it? Who was it out in center? Brought it back.
I'm here for it. That's cool, but
I get it.
there's
Long
not
term,
a ton of depth. Missing Harper, missing Rhys Hoskins. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they had the update. I think it was Rob Thompson last night. Had Philly Rob had the update that Harper will possibly be back sooner than a lot of people are thinking.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
That'd be a big boost for the old Fightins. The Reds take the series over the Pirates. The
Hunter Green topping out, matching the 105.4.
Gross. And you know what's crazy about that? I don't know if you saw this. Andrew McCutchen has now been on the receiving
I
end.
saw that for both of those.
What are the odds, dude?
So weird. And both as like a Pirate, too.
As a Pirate against the Reds. Just crazy. Because you had Chapman hit 105.4.
0.4.
Was it 4?
I think it was tied. Yeah, same speed.
Was it? I thought it was like slight. I thought Chapman had Green by just a little bit, but I might be wrong. You might be right.
I don't know. Either way, strange. Baseball's weird.
It's a weird sport, man. Padres, Rockies split.
Yeah.
Do they play 4 this weekend?
Mm-hmm. Split.
That's the other weird thing. Can somebody please explain to me why we have Friday off?
My least favorite day of the year.
I get the whole built-in like rain out days and all that, but the day after opening day, why even have it on a Thursday?
Right.
Have it on a
Make
Friday.
it on Friday. Yeah.
I would argue, and I'm no MLB executive here, I would argue that the game or the games on opening day would be that much more electric if they're on a Friday because everybody's in a better mood.
Bingo.
That's just a simple reality of
Weird.
human existence.
Crazy.
I don't know.
Who cares if opening day gets rained out? Because you have the rest of the year to figure it out. It doesn't have to immediately be the next day. So just put it on a Friday. Chances are you'll be fine.
I hate it. Cardinals take the series from the Jays. Twins sweep the Royals.
I do want to mention something about the Jays, though. That offense seems like it won't go down without some punches.
Yeah.
Like even those L's, it was like they're in contention. They're very much in the conversation of being able to flip that script in the game. Yeah, their offense is not a joke. Not a joke. But Cardinals, bro. Donovan, Gorman, pop off.
Dude, Gorman might be a guy.
Whoa.
Again, not to overreact here.
Arizona kid.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, teammates with Libator. Matthew Libator had lefty prospect off the mound. I think he's with somewhere else now. But they were together with the Cardinals. But yeah, dude, Gorman looks real.
Yeah, he had a nice few trips to the plate. Twins sweep the Royals. Mets take the series from the Marlins. Shout out to the White Sox, dude. Going into Houston and splitting with the defending champions.
Dylan Cease looked Cy Young back on track already.
I follow a strange amount of White Sox accounts on Twitter for some reason. I don't know how it got that way, but it just happened. And a lot of like the overall consensus of that series this weekend was you go in, you get a split without any major injuries. It's basically a series win for White Sox fans. Like that's how they're viewing it. So
yeah,
I'm gonna view it that way too because it makes sense.
That Oscar Colas kid, I picked him up in fantasy. They're saying a lot of good stuff about him and being an everyday right fielder. So that's interesting there. And then I said this in the group chat. No one responded to it, but like Roger Clemens sounded really good in the booth in that opening day game. It was the Thursday night game on ESPN. I think he was with Carl Ravitch and Eduardo Perez, and I was like, he sounded good, dude.
Something to keep an eye on.
I like that.
Angels take the series. My Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, California, LA take the series against the Oakland A's, as everyone expected. D-backs and Dodgers split.
D-backs are a lot tougher than people think. I'll die on that hill too. I don't have them in a playoff spot.
Neither of us did, but we're on the same page there.
They'll be a good team.
They're gonna be pesky. You know what? I don't even want that. That's doing them a disservice. They're not going to be like pesky. They're going to be a better team. Like, yes, I will go as far as say they will be a good team.
The tough thing is that they're competing with at least one team out of the NL East. At least. You know what I mean? So it's like when you have Phillies and Mets in the conversation, you have Padres and Dodgers at the top of your own division. It's like it's hard to put them in the postseason, but they are going to be a good ball club. They have a stupid amount of excitement with Corbin Carroll, a lot of athleticism. Christian Walker, I think, is going to settle into his own and just become like a household name for Bops. So, yeah, dude. And you have your NL Cy Young winner on that.
Yeah, not the greatest 2023 debut, but it's all right.
It's a little out of the box, but I'm cool with it.
Yeah, he just didn't have the greatest day at the old ball yard, but it's all right. And the Guardians take the series from the Mariners. So, all in all, opening weekend in the books. I think this is going to be a good year, man.
I think so too. I think there's going to be a lot of surprise. And I like these bubble teams starting to become very real. Guardians are very real. You know what I mean? Can the Texas Rangers get over that hump and be in contention? Can the Angels flip the script from prior years? Like, you have these teams that are maybe been on the fence the last couple of years. Can they break through and at least be competitive against these very top-heavy teams? So, good year. and great weather all weekend around, pretty much the whole league. Did you notice that?
So, yeah. I think so, yeah.
Not really any snow. We had snow last year on opening day. Didn't have that. I'm a fan. Good weather, blue skies, baseball. Cool with it.
Love it. I mean, I'm sure we missed some things, but I think that's all I really got unless you had anything else.
Nah. Back to twice a week, though. So
Back to twice
we won't be missing
week.
much.
That is true. We will see you guys Thursday.
Mm.
So buckle up, lock in. Lock in for more Nate, lock in for more Kyle, lock in for more. No, you know what? I'm going to choose to be positive. I learned this weekend. Last thing I'll say here. Dude, I was not in a good place. I was not in a good place on opening day. Like, it's been a tradition for me for years now. Where I'll just, even if I don't have anywhere to go, I'll just go riding around. I'll roll the windows down and I'll blast Tessie like on repeat for like the whole ride. And I didn't do that this opening day because it was so hard for me to get myself in a state of mind where I was like, I can get behind this team.
Yeah.
And not to belabor this point, but I'll just remind people in case they're unfamiliar with where I'm at. I love the Red Sox. Always will love the Red Sox. What I can't love right now is an ownership group that is trying to convince its fan base that like this is an acceptable product. Like we shouldn't have had to go like we shouldn't have had to fight tooth and nail against the Orioles opening series. And I'm glad we won the series and all that. But like we're the Boston Red Sox. Like we should be steamrolling the Orioles. And we have the money to do so. But like people are drinking the Kool-Aid being like, no, this is a competitive team. Whatever.
I love how the episode is ending.
Well, I meant to open up with it because I wanted to get myself a little fired up, but it had to wait. And so, realistic, like seriously, it got me thinking about like other fan bases. And I don't want to make this just a Red Sox thing, but it really had me sympathizing a little bit with some of these other fan bases where it's
not
like,
be excited about opening day.
Right.
Yeah.
Where it's like, how depressing is that? Yeah. And how much respect I gained for those fans, even more than already existed. But I'm like, you have to like get the juices flowing somehow, some way for opening day, knowing that your team, that your ownership group, that your front office is not doing everything that they can to put your team in a position to be better than they are. Whether it's laziness, lack, an unwillingness to spend, whatever it may be. Again, don't want to make this a Red Sox thing. Just wanted to bring it home with the point of those fan bases out there that feel like their owners aren't looking out for them.
Yeah.
I respect you guys. And I got a lot of love and appreciation for you guys because I didn't like where I was. That's the first time I've been there in a long, long time. And I did not like being there. And I had to convince myself. I said, you know what? I can't actively root for these guys to lose. So I'm just going to have to get behind it, suck it up, and just hope that winning will breed that mentality once again of, you know what? Enough playing games, enough trying to get by with the bare minimum. Let's actually try to make this team better and sign the guys such as a Xander Bogaerts when we have the opportunity to. So again, all I have to say, I'm done. I'm out of here. Those mid-market teams that struggle.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what's worse, to have extremely low expectations and be disappointed, or to have false hope. I don't know what's worse. So
I don't know.
I have a foot in both camps, so I get it. I definitely understand. There's like this false hope with some of those teams that should be getting rings by now, but still haven't. So yeah, I think there's an equal amount of frustration. It's just being compartmentalized in a different area.
Yeah, and like if you need somebody to talk to, just hit us up.
Yeah, we got you.
We'll get through this together. Us mid-market teams. And,
plug the voicemail. If you're pissed about your team and you're not excited about opening day weekend and you feel like you're in the minority, hit our voicemail up. We'll
Yeah.
play it.
Voicemail number is in the IG bio. I think it's in the Twitter bio, but it's in the IG bio. Just really at any point throughout the year, just call us. Venture frustrations, venture celebrations. Like it, like if there's some things we're celebrating, hit us up because it's a long year. As we very well know, it's a long year, and there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. But like I said, I had to really take stock this weekend, and I decided yesterday, albeit it was after a win, I decided I'm not going to let this team have me depressed for the next 6-7 months.
There you go.
Regardless what John Henry and company is doing up in the ownership suites, I'm not going to let them ruin my they're not going to ruin my 2023. So that's where I'm at, and that's what I'll close with.
Oh, it's going to be a good year, folks. Come here, hang out with us, and be a part of the ride. Don't go chasing curveballs.
Love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.